Hello, patience tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Renaissance. Thanks for waiting for the next episode. With me, BlueAnkylo, ready to go here. You may notice we've gained a couple levels. I did effectively what we failed at last time, which was dive down to the bottom, or the top of Sky, get all the gear, and then exit out, and sell everything to make some money to buy some spells, and then run out of money again. I actually did 2 runs this time because clearly unequipping your ribbons and dying was a bad idea. So, it just took 2 trips. It's no big deal. That does mean we probably got a little bit more XP than last run, and that's fine. It gave me some chance to just quietly do some testing. So we'll talk about that today, some of the differences, and just I'll give a recap of everything here. Also, still playing the Final Fantasy VI Overclocked Remix album, Balance and Ruin. It's long. We can do that for a couple episodes. So, what's changed? I did manage to buy the Cat Claw, which is really expensive and not really worth it, but it is a good weapon. It's just the Black Wizard probably doesn't get enough base strength to make a lot of use out of it. One more level up, and we will be getting 3 attacks, which is nice, but the damage is still pretty weak. I think in vanilla there was a bug with critical rate chance, so each weapon had like a, crit percent of some sort, but it didn't work, and it was like the index array value of the new crit. So a lot of weapons had way higher crit chance than they should, especially weapons kind of at the bottom of the list, and I think Cat Claw was pretty low. Kind of like Excal and Massa and all the endgame weapons. So I believe it ended up outperforming the vanilla Cat Claw, or like the intended Cat Claw. So it's kind of got a nerf in that sense in fixes. But that's okay. So I did buy, everything the Red Mage can possibly learn. These are the only 2 level 7 Red Wizard spells. And kind of gave him the level 6 selection I was talking about. Not that he can naturally even use level 7 just yet. We also finished up our level 6 and 7 spells for the wizards, the black and white wizards. In Viz 2, we get from White Shirt, so this is everything else, including the lame spell. Cure 4 is real good, Harm 4 is good, Heal 3 is good, and the other white spell is Anti-Rub, so hey, someone's got it. And then Black Mage went Quake and Stun, I skipped Rub, Insta-Death single target, and then Ice 3, Brack, and Saber for some reason. Only because the other one was Power Word Darkness, which is really terrible. Saber's, I wanted to test it out. It's not great. It's weird that a Red Wizard can't learn it, because they'd be the most likely class to get value out of it, as a relatively decent fighter that could then buff themselves. But it is single target, unlike the Power Glove, which does the same spell, but you can cast it on anyone else. So that's interesting, right? Other than that, Life 2 and Fade, we haven't got the levels to cast these yet. And Nuke, plus some other ones we'll get to eventually. But yeah, that's kind of the recap for spells. Let's get going. We're going to go crush Tiamat and see how far we can get for this episode. We might be able to wrap up the game today. We'll see. I am going to be still taking fights because I would like to have level 8 magic before we end the game, which means, we still need to kill stuff. In terms of our character skills, I have done a little bit of testing just on my own, just to get a feel for stuff. I'm not really sold on, like, any of the Black Belt's skills. They don't work very well. I think maybe at higher levels, but we're already pretty high level as it is. And I mean, mid-20s is decent, at least. And it does not seem to be scaling fast enough, basically. So my feeling on Renaissance Black Belt with the new skills is they're kind of the closest to vanilla of anyone. I think if you over-level and grind really high, they're still as good as always. They punch and kill. And they're... Like, I'll use the other skill here, his combo. Combo does a little bit more number of attacks, like +1 or something, number of hits. Maybe +2, I don't know. Maybe +50% for all I know. But it has no crits. so it does less overall damage, generally speaking, especially as you get higher level with lots of crits. And the gimmick is, you know, it can overflow damage to the next target. So if you weaken a bunch with ice like this, in theory, 1, 2, 3, it works really good. But that relies on turn order and another AoE spell or something. Otherwise, it's going to do single target damage less than your normal attack. I think it's probably in the sense where if you're over leveled and doing like 2000 damage, then you can use the combo to split that up a little bit amongst multiple targets. So that's fine. And maybe we should use it against weaklings or on fights where it's likely that we're gonna near like halfway kill them before the black belt gets a turn. But overall, I do feel like the general monk skills are pretty weak. Chakra's healing is really terrible, honestly. I think if I use Chakra, it does recover from poison and dark at least, but we're probably only healing like 20 or 30 HP to the whole group, which is not enough. At this level, it's just not even close. I also, I think, randomly found out once where if I counterattack, you can and kill, which is pretty hard to do. You do get a key point, so the trait we learned from our special quest does, it says regular melee attack, but that includes counters, which is fine. But I think the actual real value of counter I didn't notice originally. It cancels a melee attack, which means you don't take damage. So I don't know how often it triggers, but effectively it's like the modern 5e monks redirect attack. If it works, which is somewhat uncommon, you will take 0 damage and then counter for a little bit. And if you happen to kill, you will get a key point out of it. So it's pretty good. But I think for the most part, the monk relies, just like always, same as vanilla really, on being vastly overleveled. Any other group would have beat the game before he's really taking advantage of those abilities. So, you know, he's fine. Maybe on New Game Plus at high levels, because you get XP very fast, he feels a little bit better. But I do find in normal mode, he's generally not going to level up enough to really shine. Oops. So yeah, I think overall, my feeling on the monk skills, the add-ons are a bit mid. Sadly, you can't use like tempering and power gloving on him. I think that would help a fair bit to you know, even out the mid game, because right now he's getting there, but until he hits level 30 something, low 30s, he's still not doing as much damage as I was hoping. A lot of enemies just, they have too much absorb. You know, 48 base damage is okay, and it's better than the Red Wizard, yes. But against, well, what is it? Like, we can have a quick look. Against the things that count, the bosses, 48 power is still not as much absorb, so Kraken will often take no damage, or at least 1 damage, I guess. Kraken 2 is even higher. Tiamat coming up is even higher. Tia 2 is even higher than that. Chaos is 100. So crits will pierce, of course, but your base damage is still, you're getting a lot of attacks, but you're not really hitting very hard. And then his skills don't really add a whole lot of value. So yeah, I mean, he's okay, but I have to say, not much different than vanilla. Most of the time, not very worth. His Ki Blast is still doing like under 100 damage at level 1, and if we get a chance to charge it up, it's stronger, but nothing's ever lives that long, so it's not worth it. Red Mage, I think early game with the statuses was very powerful. They still work. We're at the point in the game where I value one-shotting enemies more than slowing them, usually. Which is, again, maybe on New Game Plus, the statuses are a little bit stronger. But he does apply statuses very consistently. So, that's good. I'm going to specifically show off the chakra here. I think Red Mage got a nice buff in the Renaissance, is kind of what I'm thinking. The Status Affliction is not what I expected him to get, but it's decent. The unfortunate thing is, I actually think his ultimate is garbage. I kind of, hopefully we're paying attention to the chakra, but I think it was like 30 hit points each. I forgot to turn this down again. So yeah, there's that. Anything else for Red Mage that's worth talking about? Yeah, the Status Affliction is decent. The random status spell, as far as I can tell, it just mostly puts people to sleep or silences them. Occasionally you get a stun, which is pretty good, but a lot of times you just get silence, which does nothing mostly, and even darkness and stuff doesn't really matter. Sleep often just gets, you know, you hit them and they wake up. Am I one to help? This is still the worst friggin' encounter. I hate this one. Maybe not as bad as the Trance Revolution guys, but it's a little bit off center there. But yeah, I think the Red Mage, good early, kind of not great late. I wish for our limit, like, this is okay, but I'd rather just get, like, doubles cast, right? Like the Final Fantasy V Red Magic gets like X Magic, right? Like, where's my X Magic? If he could cast 2 spells at once, I think that would help him out a tremendous amount. I know Time Mage gets stuff like that, but it is a classic Red Mage ability, and because he's not getting Nuke, and he doesn't get the elemental damage boost anyway, I think double casting would be a nice one for him. Let's see if we can keep blast these guys down. This is definitely one of the more dangerous fights in vanilla. The Death Touch ignores your ribbons and stuff in vanilla. I think maybe this version fixes that. Nope. Never mind. Still get killed through a ribbon. Key Blast seems pretty weak. We'll never know if Tella's spell would have killed them, but... yeah, Ice 3 gets the job done. So, once again, our XP is thrown off even more. At least we have a White Mage now, so we can recover. Assuming you want to throw a bunch of potions at him. Alright, so... I think that's all I was going to talk about Red Mage. White Mage is great. I mean, it's still mostly support. It's not like... the skills here don't change much, but Prey is just a very nice minor heal in the background. And Re-Raise is situationally good. Full Heal Limit is great. Better healing. And Life in Combat. Those are all solid. It just makes the White Wizard better at White Magic. Nothing wrong with these guys at all. Very, very similar to Vanilla. Okay, Tiamat. Let's take this real seriously, right? Super, super seriously. We're definitely gonna like buff up and totally prepare, get fast on, all this stuff. It's definitely gonna matter. And she's dead. So yeah, I had a feeling Red Wizard. If Bane counts as a negative status affliction, and you don't really have to worry about that. So you know, there's always tricks like that, of course. Good old Red Wizard. This fight just is gross. So, with that done, I guess we go to Topher. Oh, I did pick up, like, the Protect Cape. I don't know if I mentioned that. If you didn't notice it, I just gave it to the Red Wizard. Second spot gets the most absorbed after the Black Belt. The Black Belt cannot equip the Pro Cape. In Vanilla, the only class that cannot equip it. In Renaissance, pretty much anyone that uses two-handed weapons cannot use it, like Dragoons and Death Knights. Okay, restock. And even after that, I don't think we got the levels to get level 8 spells. We still can't use level 8 magic. So the only way we're going to do this is if we fight stuff in the Topher, maybe exit out after we get some money. I think we want the second Protect Cape. Maybe we'll pick up the second Katana to sell it. Because we've sold everything in the game and grinded a little bit. Still can't afford all the spells. It's kind of funny. But there's some money around the loot blocker. And to be fair, most enemies down here do drop pretty decent gold, I think. Lots of dragons are good for that. So let's play around in Topher for a little while. Yeah, Gasties, you know, classic. Confuse might be nice if you could hit him with that. They're going to use the Poison Elemental attack, which is really painful. I think Ice 3's got a pretty good chance of one-shotting them with our boost. Or, you know, everything will be dead by the time we get a turn. But no luck on the Bane Sword, no real surprise. Ice 3's pretty good. Confuse hit, but, you know, we might as well just smack them given the turn order there. But yeah, good XP. Gas Dragons just shower you with XP. So, as long as you can win this fight without, you know, absolutely getting smashed, it's a good fight. I guess we don't really have a way to do anti-poison, oddly enough. That doesn't even include poison, so not gonna work. I guess other than the wall spell, there's no way to give poison protection. Kind of strange. It's weird that that's so hard to get. Alright, anyway, we'll just throw a little bit of extra damage in, I guess. These are likely one of the most dangerous encounters in the entire Topher. At least in the early floors, 100%, I think. Unrunnable. If they get a turn, they can basically spam up to 4 poison breaths at once, which very much can kill most of the group. So, I feel like I might as well use my good spells. For this, maybe we just do a lot of punching. I don't know. It's undead. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, easy peasy. Big bucks. Big bucks. That's enough for like 2 level 8 spells. Isn't that a good deal? Alright, so zooming along here. Keep trying the Bane Sword. I'm not all that impressed with it. I guess there's... I mean, I should be impressed. That was pretty awesome. I think it just depends on the magic defense. If you're fighting against enemies not resistant to poison with lowish magic defense, works pretty well. But those are also the things that you can probably fire 2 to death, you know. Could also just do some free healing while we're on our way down. If you're trying to conserve heal potions and spell charges, you should probably use the White Mage to pray all the time. On the other hand, if we'd killed that Chimera, it might have stopped an attack, you know. Didn't really matter. Good money. Chimera is very valuable, I guess. That's giving us the big bucks. So yeah, I think overall I'm pretty happy with this party. I wish some of the skills, like on the Black Belt and the Red Wizard, were a little bit more effective. I guess I was talking about the White Wizard. I never got to the Black Wizard. The Black Wizard's got the buff, the passive buff, I think, is very strong. The one that lets him just enemies resist his spells less, basically. I think that is certainly strong. I think his active skills are kind of terrible. Because they give up a turn, basically, to boost a follow-up turn. And that's not usually great. Maybe we'll use one against the Lich here, but what we're talking about is Bluff does increase the whole party's intelligence, which makes a small difference on magic. But it only helps if you have other, like, spellcasters. Like, the Red Wizard could take some value out of this, but I think this is very niche. You need a specific party for this to be useful. I think Elemental Spell Seal, I don't know if I've ever had this really be useful. Because it takes 2 turns, but, you know, maybe. Mana Font is a limit. You waste a turn to not expend a spell charge, you know, yay. I guess if you had 1 nuke slot, you could use this and then nuke 3 times, so cool, but... Sorcerer, I think that's the trait that's good. Just generally less resistance. All the spells. And then Priming, I mean, it doesn't come up very often, but... if the fight goes on. In fact, that's kind of an anti-synergy again. Why would you not attack to buff your next spell when you could go fire 3, and that would do damage and then bonus damage next turn by doing the other trait, using the other trait. I would like to maybe try a re-raise in case it gets whatchamacallit, a nuke off. Although I think, is Lich actually resistant to fire? Or not resistant, but he's not weak to fire in second form, I think. Well, he didn't do his nuke anyway, so he doesn't get any chance. I think I always think all Liches are weak to fire, because undead generally are. But then, on research, yeah, normally no resistance, no weaknesses at all in FF1. Wind and Holy don't really count. Sneaky singing. Distracted me a little bit. Yeah, so, you know, I think the Black Wizard is totally a good class in Renaissance. Absolutely, probably the best general purpose sweeper. Not as sustainable as like a Geomancer. Maybe not as high burst damage. Well, not burst damage. Anti-burst. Slow. The charge damage from the Summoner is higher, but, you know, maybe on New Game Plus, but certainly not normally. White Wizard, generally not killing a lot, but definitely the best at survivability. I don't think anyone can compete with her for, like, the ability to cast Life and Life 2 in battle even, just really, really strong. You could try another chakra, whatever you call it. We do have access to, like, heal staff and stuff to do a little bit of really minor healing amounts. It's not... I don't like... Generally speaking, I don't like recording that slow heal. So theoretically, we could give Rosa more absorption. That reduces her ability to buff Tella, but honestly, the Power Glove's not that important in this group. Because Sabin's our damage dealer, and you can't use it on him, which is too bad. Maybe we should have the defense sword on Sabin just so he can get evade up as well. But... yeah, I'm still planning on probably exiting out after we get all the loot on, well, once we get the Massa. Now, the Massa, you could give the Masmune to the Black Belt, and then you'd be able to temper and saber him. Some levels, the Massa does more damage than your punch. But in the long run, the punch damage will be the best. Just depends on how much grinding you do. And we've got to be pretty close to the point where punch overrides it. It's the crit rate, really, because the Massa does not have as crazy crit. So... maybe we can confuse some worms? I don't know. One. I do like how Prey continues to scale, basically. As our hit points goes up, it's doing better and better. And if you use it multiple times in a fight, it does continue to grow over time. Like, I think Prey is one of the much better balanced abilities of all the abilities in this game. So very high props for that. I guess that's the kind of thing, like, when I'm comparing all these different job abilities, some are obviously better than others, and probably intentionally better than others, but I consider Prey, like, perfect, because it's not going to really win you a fight, but the mechanics work really well. It's in theme for White Mage, it saves you spell slots, and you are... you know, it scales well, I guess. That's the idea. Like, it gets better over time. Which is something a lot of these skills don't. The Monk Chakra was decent in the early game, but it's scaling really slowly now. And maybe at, like, level 40, 50, sure, but I feel like it's not keeping up at all. And it doesn't, like, charge up during the battle or anything, so it's... well, I mean, I guess you get to level... you get more key points during the battle. Anyway, you know, I think being able to slow carry reliably with the Red Wizard is very valuable. So the Red Wizard, I think, is pretty solid in my party. Gotta remember my long-term strats here. I could do a white shirt, maybe. She's not specifically susceptible to slow. She's not weak to status. She's just regularly neutral. I could try Confuse as well. I don't know. Godrin 1, that's fine. Being able to slow a carry and the Kraken, I think that really the Red Wizard might be the MVP because the status debuffs kind of trivialize most of the bosses we're going to fight. So that's pretty solid. And even like being able to paralyze them and stuff, like that's all very, very effective. Did I do my convert already? I did not. Let's get that out of the way. I want to show off Curse at least. Of course, we're going to get interrupted again if we're not careful. Did he even get a turn? Nope. Okay, we'll try again. This isn't a huge negative for the Red Wizard. I'm not really judging the convert timing against him. I think convert might actually be better for making like level 6 and 7 spell slots than the level 8 one, because Curse hasn't really won me over yet. Unless you unlock better odds of better statuses as you level up, which would be cool if that was programmed in, I suppose. Like, let's say level 20, it mostly does poison and silence, and then level 25, you add in something stronger, and then as you get closer to 50, it starts doing like insta KOs and stones and stuff, or at least more often or something. That might win me over if that was like that. Still, takes a while to, you know, the level's important. Anyway, let's do some Kraken. I think we just punch and slow, because that's all we really need. Although the white shirt will be good. What we really just need is to slow the Kraken or paralyze, but we could also go for a cheeky Brack. It's possible. Slow hitting, I mean, that wins us the fight right there. There's nothing you can do. Brack as well, why not? Sure. Who needs damage when insta death and statuses work so well? So yeah, red Wiz, black Wiz. I don't think these are worth it, but I do think the usual spells are just so good that that's fine. It's good enough. And yeah, black belt, as we level, is going to be more and more of a carry, but that is, you know, I'm not trying to complain too much about it, but that is the standard black belt build where he kind of lags behind most martial classes most of the game, unless you grind like crazy. So yeah, New Game Plus, maybe that's the real thing. There's definitely some classes, I think we've been talking about it in comments a bit as well, that are just maybe designed more to be used in New Game mode. Just because you need their abilities, their promotion abilities early on for them to not be lame. Maybe that's the design, I don't know. I think things should be balanced for normal mode though. So if these classes are sometimes designed for, you know, pre-promotion, that's not great. I don't even think New Game Plus should start pre-promoted, honestly. It's not, doesn't quite sit right with me. Hey look, Black Mage doing 3 attacks for 80 damage. You know, it helps. And we could just equip a Massa here anyway, but we'll see who I give it to. I haven't done a lot of harm spells. I do have harm 4, so let's be harmful if we get a turn. Nope. It's kind of the trouble with harm spells. They're pretty niche, and they're always at a level with other good spells. Cure 4 is better. Heal 3 is nice for an emergency. Life is very important to hold on to. Anti-fire, Cure 2 early game are better than Harm 2. I mean, Harm 2 is probably the best because you're going to do Marsh Cave and Earth Cave, and that's nice to have, but... Okay, so... In theory, 5280. This would get us more base damage by a pretty good margin, and 32, 64, 96, 130. We're getting 5 attacks instead of 6. So at the moment, that's probably a damage upgrade for the Master. But it doesn't last too much longer. Otherwise, we could give it to the Red Mage, who's kind of my backup swinger. It's less of an upgrade over the Sun Sword. Like, obviously, this is a big jump for Thor or Catclaw. But, like, White Wizard, I think when I was a kid, I usually gave the Master... Because I had usually Knight, Monk, White, Black, or Knight, Red, White, Black was my 2 usual groups. And because the Knight had Excalibur, which was really good, and the Red Mage had Sun Sword, the Black Belt just punched good, the Ninja had Katana, they all had, like, ultimate weapons. I often gave the Massa to, like, the White Wizard, who can do pretty decent melee damage with that. But nowadays, I'm less like that. I want my White Wizard to be spending their turns buffing. And honestly, even the Red Wizard maybe should be spending their time buffing, but I gotta give it to somebody, right? I would like to do one battle with Curse before we get out of here, just to show it. Maybe something cool will happen. Also, I was trying to show off Harm 4. Hopefully I think we're at high enough level we'll have at least a nuke next time. Curse, Petrify. Hey, that's the first time I've seen that happen. Maybe it is getting better as we level. I don't know. I think it's just... It's random, and there's a lot of statuses that do nothing. So a lot of the times you get nothing. But it does seem to pretty reliable... I would say it very reliably applies one status for sure. It's just, like, people don't resist it hardly ever, but the status you get doesn't necessarily help you, right? Petrify, Petrify, Dark, Asleep. I mean, 2 out of 4 really good, 1 out of 4 okay, the other one useless. We're doing a little bit of science here. Everybody loves their science. I mean, maybe we can use it on Chaos. He does resist all statuses, but... Or all elements, technically. But this apparently ignores that. I mean, what I am going to be doing is this on him. At least that's the plan. We got achievements to get. Oh, that means maybe I should try to get X-Fur. I was going to take the wall spell for my level 8 one, but maybe I need X-Fur. It did work really well when we had the Beastmaster. Spoilers. We're not really very close to a level up. Yeah, let's just get out of here. We got what we wanted. We got 2 charges of level 8 magic available. We'll buy some heal potions. We'll maybe have enough money to wrap up our level 8 magic, hopefully. There is technically an achievement for having bought overall runs 1 of each spell of white and black magic. There's so many garbage high-level spells that I very rarely pick. It's going to take me a while to get some of those achievements. I'll have to do a run specifically to buy all the garbage. Maybe you could save? Like, get to this level, get to like level 26 or something. Lots of money. Save, buy all the garbage, reload, and then buy what you want. And that might knock out the achievement in 1 run. Assuming it remembers like that, even if you reload. That might be a little hack. If you're playing along, give that a try. Because there's some spells that I would almost never buy. Like what I did buy, the soft spell. But stuff like that is generally not even worth your time. Okay, so what I was thinking was maybe we want X-Fur to try on Chaos for strats. But Wall, I would say, is usually better, because, hey, we got one person with no ribbon. We can give them a ribbon. And I already have Life 2 and Fade. Yeah, I would say Wall is better 90% of the time, but I'm going to try X-Fur for Very specific strat. And then for black, if you're going to go time elemental, we might as well be going zap. And quad X is, well, it's a spell. It can be good. It can be. But that's it. That's the full set, right? I think we've got all magic bought. We've got a good amount of heals. We've got all the weapons. We even have a spare katana that we don't need. So I even have a little bit more money than technically necessary. So if you get all the loot in the game and sell it all, you don't need to grind very much to buy all your magic. But I did very carefully walk out most loot rather than throwing it on the ground. Which is a bit of a pain. We also have an extra pro ring. There we go. But yeah, 150 grand extra. We're pretty rich. I don't think there's anything else we could get. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing else you could do gear-wise. We have everything in the game that matters. Unless there's some secrets. I guess if you have a thief, you could search the 4th ribbon, obviously, if you have a thief. Maybe... What would I rather take? Fighter Red Mage White Black or Fighter Thief White Black? The ability to get 4 ribbons is pretty darn good. Maybe if you're going like Black Belt, because the fighter gets the dragon armor and the Aegis shield, so they're like pretty protected. But if you're running anyone else who doesn't get dragon armor, like the Black Belt could use a 4th ribbon, or I could give him like I can rearrange them and give. If this is a group that would like 4 ribbons, I guess. Is what I'm thinking. Okay, let's do the for real run. I'm gonna let Black Mage take the lead. It's got those nice shoulder pads. Lots of frosties. Let's set up our curse. Let's I don't know, maybe throw out a fire 2 or something. Might be enough at this point. I don't know. We do technically have nuke. If we mana font, we can do 3 nukes. Something. But only in one battle, so. Maybe you should have used combo, actually, given the way... But we didn't know how the turn order was going to go, so... Of course, Seven's half dead already. I mean, 90% dead already. I mean, literally dead already. Good start. This is why I usually just run away from everything. If the enemy, like a ribbon, you know, would have been pretty good on Sabin. But if I gave him one of my 3 ribbons, that just means someone else dies because they have even less health. I think the black shirt gives you ice. Yeah, resist ice. So theoretically, that if you knew you were going to die, you could have swapped them around, but you generally don't know that's going to happen. Let's try to make this less painful. I don't want to... I want to save my fast charges. Maybe. Yeah. Black shirt did not win me over. Okay, no problem. We can do a little bit of free healing if we get lucky because it's confused. Doesn't matter. But yeah, Tella maybe should just be swinging against random encounters. That is probably the main advantage to giving the Massa to the white wizard or the black wizard. Then these random encounters, at least, you can just swing and still get some good kills. That was not good. 167 damage with a Massa. I guess those guys have a lot of physical absorb. Zombies, not too scary. Of all the dragons, I'd rather fight these than anything else, really. What's your favorite Final Fantasy dragon? Don't say Bahamut. Of the 5 enemy dragons, which one do you guys like the most? I'll use a fire 2, I guess. A little bit stronger than a mage fire 2. Yeah, that unbuffed lightning 2 from the Thor's Hammer doesn't feel as good as the Black Mage. Yeah, I'm getting used to the Black Mage's boosted damage now as his level's pretty good. Our intelligence stat, 45, definitely getting up there. Yeah, I feel like we might be getting to the point where spell slots are starting to look real good. I don't know the exact scaling, but it's clearly there. If it's noticeable, I'm okay with it. What I don't like is when the scaling is so slow that it's questionable if it's really working. This fight... I think they are weak to fire, strictly speaking. Maybe I should have comboed, actually, with Sabin, because they're pretty weak. Might have killed, like, 3 of them. But we're fine. I think we had a preemptive strike anyway, so it's kind of a waste. Maybe we try some more combos? I guess with combos, you want to do some AoE damage first. And that helps the combo get a little bit farther, but these guys are pretty resistant. It's pretty much a waste. You know what? 3 kills on a combo? I'll take that. That's a little bit of a +1 there. Maybe that's a little better than I was originally thinking, you know? Okay, that Mage Staff did 168 damage. Still testing some of my theories. 160 is within the normal range. Because they're weak to fire. So, normal max of 120. If weak, up to 180. I'm trying to decide if you get that intelligence boost ever. It seems like a no, but... you know, gotta keep getting data. Alright, our friend. Last time he was really chill. We'll see if he's chill today. We could go for, like, that mute strike. I think re-raise is maybe worth it, because Vivi's pretty likely to get nuked, or to die to nuke if he gets hit by it. Sure. Or we just punch him and he dies. That's the old, the classic way to deal with Lich number 2. Okay, good job, Black Belt. We're getting there. That's what we want to see. What level are we at? Level 26, 52 base damage. Yeah. Without going into the 30s, this is about as powerful as we're going to get. Another one where maybe we can combo Agamas down, maybe. Like, 650 is definitely overkill, so... superfluous healing, but it's for fun. It is nice to save the heal potions, though. White Mage, very good sustainability for a long dungeon. Alright, carry number 2, punch it. Slow, right? Slow and mute, slow for the first 3 fiends always seems good. Maybe re-raise yourself in case you get hit before we get a slow off. Maybe... go for a random sleep. Well, yeah, that's what usually happens. It's unusual for to have someone who can reliably hit these statuses. It's great, it's awesome, but definitely a little bit unusual. Let's try to... Oops, not harm. Usually I have Cure 3 in that slot to throw me off. I'll try to save Tella, and I think she's probably dead already. The monk will almost certainly two-tap her probably at this point. Might as well random confuse. Sure. And paralyzed. Sure, why not? And then kill her. Of course, now that it doesn't matter. It would be nice if paralyzed... I think it... In some of the hacks I've played, darkness or paralyzed get buffed, so that if you attack someone who is under those status afflictions, you get more crits or... stuff like that, like bad things happen if you're under those effects. Still haven't converted. Gotta do that. I don't think in vanilla it makes much difference, and I don't think the Renaissance has added too many like defensive penalties. Maybe you have less evade while sleeping or paralyzed, but that doesn't make a huge difference most of the time. But in original like AD&D, paralyze would be you just get killed if you get hit. You'd be considered helpless, and you'd be a coup d'etat, or is it coup d'etat or something like that? Whatever it's called, where you just get one shot. Maybe there's a skill check. I forget exactly how it works, but in 5th edition, paralyze is auto crits, which is very powerful. But in older editions, it was you just die. Like if someone hits you, you're dead. Even ranged attacks, I think, just kill you instantly. So those are always fun to remember. Sure. We could be running, I know, but kind of enjoying just talking about my new group here, showing off the last 4 party members of Renaissance that we haven't used. So you gotta get as much value out of these as we can. Maybe I should try one more full charged Ki Blast to see if it can do anything. We are level 27. Just hitting 27 now. Punch. I did get my conversion off. Let's go slow. Let's do white shirt as is tradition. And what, last time I bracked it and it was actually kind of funny. Let's try that again. Yep. I don't know what the odds are. It's not like Kraken is weak to Brack, and it's not like the Black Mage has any specific bonus to that. It is just funny. I feel like we're getting a little bit lucky there. The magic defense on Kraken 2 is very high. Like, 200 is, other than Chaos, I think as high as it goes. Yeah, 200 is the usual cap. No, even Chaos has 200 magic defense. Okay, Gilgamesh has 220, but of the bosses, yeah, 200 is the standard top. The fact that we could just pierce that and one-shot him with Brack is fun, but silly. Yeah, split up our damage into 2. Oh, slow didn't work at all. Oh, that's too bad. I guess these guys do probably resist status because elementals are kind of like that. I just wanted to see if we could hit them just for fun. As usual, we're at that point in the game where just hitting things hard is better than most of your other options. It's kind of a good... It's fun. It's the pro and the con for FF1 is around this level, you just hit things, you just hit them. I would say the elemental spells are worse on Tiamat than the punch, although the punch does hit hurt. Maybe we do this again? Okay, no more spells. No easy Brack. Punching for 400 is pretty good. But we could also go for slow while we're doing it. And I mean, we could try a cheeky confuse, yeah. Yeah, we seem to be hitting real good with those status afflictions on the red mage at the very least. So I think, yeah, mute, slow, hold if you want. Those are all basically going to nerf any of these final bosses to the ground. Let's speed this up a little bit. 600 damage. I mean, it's dead next hit no matter what. There's no way. In fact, we could just sit around and heal up if we wanted now, I think. Poor Tia. It is nice to have an alternate strategy, though, because in vanilla, and I would say even in the randomizers, it's basically all just damage. You very rarely even consider stuff like slow. I would say almost never. I mean, maybe not literally 0%, but most of the time you're just going to want to damage things down rather than risk doing nothing, you know. But the hit rate on the Red Mage has been real good. And we've had other jobs that are also really good at putting statuses on these bosses, so it's become a bit of a theme, honestly, to absolutely trivialize these final bosses in FF1, so in Renaissance specifically. So good times. Well, here we are. This is the end. So now the real question is, can I do my funny strat? It's certainly not a guarantee. We got like 2 chances to hit this, and then 6 chances, and we're not at a max level, so it might not really be doable yet. I don't know the exact math here, but we need 255 to get down to like 100, maybe, because some things run from us right now. Scorpions would run. Sandworms might run. I'm pretty sure. Maybe 124 level, high 20s. They probably start running. Wizards would run. They're in 120s. I think at our level, a good number of low to mid tier enemies are running away. Maybe not T-Rexes yet. So like 150 might not be enough. 200, I think, if I remember correctly, the 200 morale enemies, you got to be level 40 or higher for them to have a chance to run. So we need Fear to hit at least twice, probably at least 3 times, to have a chance here. I would say the odds are pretty low. I might need to grind up to level 50. But, hey, we'll see what happens. So let's go boost. Let's go... let's go mute. Let's go... Slow would be nice if we could hit it. No. We did get the slow 2 first try. Wowzers. That's pretty awesome. Alright. He does resist statuses, so I don't expect the odds are very high. Maybe we go for Curse, but Curse could just kill him, maybe. I would like to debuff him some more if I can. I did 1 invis, but we're taking damage. I would like to charge up Prey a little too. Maybe that's worth it. I don't know. Slow 2 hitting 1 out of 1 was lucky. You could also go for lowering his evade. Nah. With no Red Wizard boost. I mean, we could try bluffing. I don't know if that actually helps the Red Wizard. Maybe it does. 35 HP for Chakra, not great. Mute's not working yet. He is magically... This is where the wall spell would have been really, really good. Yeah. Black Mage, or Black Belt's not going to live if we can't fix this. If we can't get a mute to hit or something. I don't even know if you can hit lock automatically here. Oh yeah, it works. In the randomizer, there's a way to what am I trying to say? There's a way to I think in vanilla lock doesn't work at all. It like literally gives the enemy evade or something. But if you fix it, it's still resisted, so enemies you can use lock and then they can still, it's like a status affliction, they can still not get hit by. And then there's a flag in the randomizer that lets it work automatically. So if Renaissance is more like that, that would be nice. So mute, we're out of. Let's try some curse then. We need to buy a little bit of time. We could go for an X for now. He only attacks once. So like a couple levels of white shirt is probably all we need to not die to that kind of stuff. I mean, he can cast fast on himself. So. We got darkness. All right. We'll try to get silence. Maybe curse is smart and it doesn't apply the same status that he's already got. Like, that'd be nice. Yeah, we're gonna try a specific strat here. We need silence really for this to work. I think. We got him asleep. Let's try an Exfer maybe. It doesn't matter for Curse, but it does matter for other stuff. Okay, we hit him. Okay, Exfer might be way more likely to hit than I was expecting. Would have been nice to save a mute charge for this. I didn't expect Exfer to work. Well, effectively, we're at 2 for 2 on Chaos right now with this spell. So it seems like the accuracy on this might be much, much higher than vanilla, or, you know, luck. So does that mean we can do the strat? Still not getting what we need. So we got an ineffective on Curse, whatever that means. We got an ineffective on Fear. That's 0 out of 1. Morale down, 1 out of 2. We got Poison. That doesn't really matter much. I don't think. I don't think Poison is percentage damage. I'm just hoping for silence here. Should have Exfer'd immediately if I knew it was going to work, but... I also could have put up anti-rub to protect Sabin, which is probably smart too. But he's paralyzed, so we're doing alright. That's 1 for 3 in Fear. Not looking great. I've only got 1, but that will give us Earth status protection. If we can't... because he does crack, we could have been killed by that already. If we can't get him muted. Okay, 1 for 4 is not looking great on Fear. And the Red Mage couldn't learn it, I don't think. Maybe I didn't check if promoted he could. I'm trying to find a way to get this to work live, but... Anti-Rub went off. Let's try Curse. 2 more Fears available. I think we need both of them to hit to have any chance. Curse has been starting to fail me now. Okay, that's 2 out of 5 that have hit, I believe. And this is our last one. So in theory, we're at 255 minus 80, which is probably not enough. And even if this hits, it's maybe still not enough. If you're at a higher level, yes, but... We got Darkness. We got 3. Okay, that's minus 120. So theoretically, we're from 255 to 135. I think it's possible. But it might not happen for a while. So he needs to break out of Paralyze. We need to give him some turns. We never got the mute off, which means he can still be trouble. Also, if he stays paralyzed forever, well, that'll be funny. Funny, sad. Is there any other spells we want? He is darked. He is slowed. I didn't have enough mute charge. Should have saved it. That's my bad. I guess we'll just make sure we've got max evades, and I guess we should make sure Sabin's healed up. I should do charging up my my White Mage Prey. Can't like overboost, yeah. And if we kill him, that wrecks everything. So I think this is the last invis we need. If it's like 6 total to be at max evade, depending on your starting evade, but 6 is usually enough. 3 ruses. Of course, that paralyze. Being able to paralyze Chaos maybe isn't great. Not for my strat. We could throw like some armor up, doesn't really matter. Getting Prey at max is nice if we're going to try to survive nukes, if that ever happens. I could put re-raise on everybody, actually. That might be better. Seeing as I've got all this time. This is a... I swear the enemies are supposed to have like a 25% chance to break Paralyze every turn. Maybe we're just getting lucky. Alright, well, let's start speeding this up a little bit. Re-raise on the wizards. There we go, he woke up. I think with the white wizard, it's going to be very hard to ever die. That is, you know, kind of the drill, right? Oops. Oh, he full healed himself. Oh, no! Cure 4 also... I always forget. Cure 4 also does, like, a full cleanse. So that got rid of his darkness, maybe? Yeah, silence really was somewhat mandatory. I don't think I can slow or dark him again. Sleep, confuse aren't going to help. Paralyze won't help. Alright, yeah. If he is hasted, that's going to be painful. Once he gets there. Alright. Oh, you know. At least he woke up. Maybe he can... Maybe he has a chance to run now. I don't know. I'll let it go for a while now that he's finally doing stuff. I guess we can kind of alternate chakras. And we've got re-raise on everyone. So let's just see. We can heal 35 every second turn. 15 every turn. And... looks like around 40, 50, depending on your HP, every turn. Although that might scale a little bit. I'm not sure if we're at max yet. It's not enough for nukes, but it's enough for some small spells. What do you guys think? Should I just maybe give up on this? I'm not going to give up just yet, but it might literally be you need higher level or you need more morale hits, basically. This would be easier to set up if you had a green wizard or a time mage, because then you can effectively save right in front of this fight, which, you know, if you don't get it, if you miss too many morale downs, you can just reset it. Otherwise, you have to redo the whole dungeon. I'm going to give him 10 chances. If that fails, I'll just end the video, and honestly, I think this demonstrates that this party could do it. We just needed more spell slots, and we needed to get... well, actually, mute didn't matter that much. I mean, it'd help, but what we really need is a couple more morales. Exfer works just fine. You could definitely hit him with fear. We just didn't get him enough. Maybe. I mean, it's possible this is technically enough. It's just going to take all day. I said 10. I don't know. I'm not really keeping track. That was 2. Let's say that was 2. This is 3. He does not run. Let's go number 4 turn. We've got to be maxed out on Prey by now. He does not run. Let's try number 5. Goes for the crack. Yeah, if he doesn't run after this, I'm going to say pretty unlikely. I don't know how... I don't know the odds, but if he is at 135 morale, we might just not quite be high enough level. It's got to be pretty close, though. I think one more fear for sure would do it. This is 6 turns, maybe? Did not work. The counter is pretty good. Definitely, I think he would have missed anyway because of the max evade. But in theory, he's hasted. Every time you counter, you could have been dodging like 500 damage, you know. That was 7, I think. And this is turn number 8 of my last-ditch effort. Does seem to be pretty easy to heal through most of his damage, which is pretty funny. He also hasn't nuked us yet, to be fair. Was that 8? It's at least 8. Maybe I'll be generous and give him like a little bit of extra, just in case. Maybe it's just one more turn, you know? 113 on the Prey heal. That's getting pretty solid. That's 9 at least. This is the last turn I give him, and then we're going to try to kill him. Prey definitely stacking up. I like that. Sure, you need max HP to really get a value, but... Alright, that's 10 tries. No luck today. So I thought I could show it live, but... not quite. I can't remember if I don't think I hasted or anything. That's something I was going to do. We certainly Power Glove Tella a lot. Oh, there's the nuke. Yeah. Oh, and also there's 2,500 damage. You're dead. You know how it goes. All right. Well, there you go. We got our kill with our red wizard. I did not get the flea, but I think we have the setup. X for fear, and I think the red mage, if we had mute on him, it would be very safe. I could just wait around as long as I needed to. And Power Glove, of course, is enough to buff anyone. But I also think Sabin with haste fast would have probably been able to do it. So I think I'm going to call it here. I will, if anything interesting happens, I think I'm going to go for that silly achievement. Because I think all I need is a little bit more... where is it? Challenge... It's kind of a funny one. Make Chaos flee, and I definitely think we are close. So I think I'm gonna maybe get maybe not even level 50, just a couple levels, couple more casts of fear, and maybe mute originally from the beginning. Get all that to work. Is there any other quests? Oh, yeah. Well, there's some stuff I could have done really easily. I'm just looking for anything else that we should work for. Make tremendous money. Yeah, I've kind of got like the easy challenges out of the way now. Bunch of just take one spell per level. Never buy anything. Don't spend much money. Never go to the inn. Don't use items in combat. Don't use any potions. That's not very hard. I mean, well, that's kind of tricky. Heal potions in menus are important. Anyway, we're gonna call that here. This might be it, right? Like, okay, we win, right? That's all the jobs, definitely, and pretty good demonstration of Renaissance, right? Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time.